A website called Newsclick, which basically functions online and via YouTube, is now in the dock owing to an investigation by the New York Times, which has dropped a veritable bombshell on Newsclick. Newsclick, which does a great deal of journalism and reportage that makes it unfriendly or perceived to be unfriendly to the government, is now become a talking point in Parliament after a New York Times investigation says that Chinese government propaganda money to the tune of crores of rupees has been channeled by a tech billionaire into this website, and that's the reason why some of its coverage seems to be pushing the Chinese agenda. From the Ladakh standoff, to the Rafale scam, to India's economy, to various other political and economic issues in the country, it has come under a great deal of scrutiny now. Remember that Newsclick, this website, was raided by the Enforcement Directorate back in 2021, and now it's the New York Times itself, that has pointed a finger through an investigation to say that this Indian website received funding from the Chinese government. The BJP and the Congress are at angry loggerheads over this NYT investigative report that has prompted the BJP to accuse the Congress of having links with China. The NYT investigative report on how the Chinese government has actively peddled propaganda across the world, including India, has echoed in Parliament inside and outside. Take a look. It is perhaps the biggest media scandal to rock India and the world in recent times. A New York Times investigation has blown the lid off Chinese propaganda being passed off as independent content, courtesy million-dollar deals. And yes, there's an alleged Indian puppet as well. Indian news website Newsclick, the same company that was raided in 2021, has been named by the New York Times investigation report as having received 38 crore rupees to run Chinese puff pieces. The Newsclick site put up videos and articles like China's history continues to inspire the working class, all because of an alleged shady deal with the Chinese Xi Jinping government. And the man who made these payments to Newsclick allegedly and many other international media platforms is reportedly Neville Roy Singham, a US tech billionaire based in Shanghai. Singham, according to the report, acted as a front for the Chinese government and paid several networks to run China-positive pieces, including Indian news site Newsclick. The rot runs deep, as Enforcement Directorate sources back in 2021 had revealed how the money had been sent to Newsclick's shareholder, Gautam Navlakha.
If we go by the allegations, basically Communist Party of China, the person who was involved in this entire deal is Neville Roy Singham. He has 4 non-profits in USA, and he is a tech billionaire living in Shanghai. Through Singham, 38 crore rupees traveled to Newsclick. Out of these 38 crore rupees, this becomes extremely important. Out of 38 crore rupees, 9 crore came through foreign direct investment via inward remittances. Apart from 9 crore rupees, almost 28 crore rupees also traveled, and according to Newsclick, it was in exchange of some of the services which they provided. But when Enforcement Directorate raided their premises, when they got hold of certain documents in this entire investigation, what they got to know, there was no logical explanation of that 38 crore rupees. Out of 38 crore rupees, again, extremely important, 21 lakh rupees went to Gautam Navlakha. He is also a shareholder, and along with Gautam Navlakha, there were certain individuals, certain journalists who also got that money.
This explosive investigative report has sparked off a massive political fight, as the BJP has raked up the Rajiv Gandhi Trust's alleged funding from China and questioned why the Congress was quick to jump to Newsclick's defense back in 2021 during the Enforcement Directorate raids.
2008 में इनका एग्रीमेंट हो गया था, उस समय एक पेमेंट भी की गई थी। पेमेंट किसको की गई? पेमेंट की गई थी राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को, और ये राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को जो पेमेंट की गई 2005-7 के बीच में, ये किस लिए की गई? और ये उस समय की गई जब सोनिया गांधी जी यूपीए की, और वही यूपीए सरकार जिसके ऊपर लाखों करोड़ के भ्रष्टाचार के गंभीर आरोप भी है।
The BJP has also put the focus on how misinformation was being spread rapidly on social media to create an anti-India narrative.
There is an attempt to rein in misinformation. These platforms jump along with their friends and rally behind this false cover of free speech. The right to free speech as guaranteed in our Constitution is certainly not and must not and should not be a cover for misinformation directed at our nation's rise.
The Rajiv Gandhi Trust has been accused of receiving donations from Chinese entities between 2005 and 2009 under the leadership of Sonia Gandhi. As the BJP Congress political fight blazes on, the question over whether some journalists have become Ji Huzuris to Xi Jinping has sparked a massive international debate. With Munish Pandey in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And we've got a first reaction coming in from Newsclick, the website that has been exposed by the New York Times for having taken a huge amount of funds from tech billionaire on behalf of the Chinese government to spread propaganda and anti-India journalism. Newsclick has responded to the China link charge. It calls the allegations false and misleading. Newsclick has said in a statement the China link charges are fake. This website is now under a massive glare. It has not qualified its statement but said that the allegations of a Chinese link are completely fake. Let me go straight across to India Today's Aishwarya Paliwal for more on this. Aishwarya, has Newsclick provided any further details? Have they given a substantive defense? This is, after all, the New York Times, which is a newspaper that's considered the holy grail of websites like Newsclick. Many sections of the opposition which had defended Newsclick in 2021, they take everything that the New York Times says, as practically biblical. What are they saying now?
Well, the opposition, let me tell you, Shiv, is completely quiet. And even Newsclick, apart from just giving out one statement, has not been able to give any proof. The government on the other side, the MOS of IT, which is Information, Ministry, very clearly Rajiv Chandrasekhar saying that they have seen a spike in the kind of news that Newsclick was giving over the past 2 years. Also, the INB Minister, Anurag Thakur, very clearly saying that the government has proof of the funding. Also saying that all those people, especially the Congress party, they were all standing in favor of Newsclick, but investigation by the government has found out that massive anti-India things were going on the website. Unfortunately, no substantial proof from the website apart from just that statement. Shiv.
Okay, Aishwarya, thank you very much for getting us that. Let's go straight into our face-off because it has become immediately and explosively political, not just on the airwaves, but literally inside Parliament as well, with an angry exchange of fire over this Newsclick revelation erupting in the Lok Sabha today, courtesy BJP MPs like Nishikant Dubey and certain others. Let's go straight to our political guest, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, but starting with Mohan Kumar Mangalam, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Welcome to you both. Thank you for your time. Mohan, to you first. The BJP has kind of clubbed the whole Newsclick revelations in the New York Times, along with the Rajiv Gandhi Trust. And you saw Anurag Thakur, Minister, addressing a press conference as well, training his guns in part at Newsclick, but making this about a larger ecosystem of entities, including the Congress Party, allegedly taking money from the Chinese. That's what the BJP is alleging. Mohan, respond.
First, let me say that I find it amusing that Mr. Anurag Thakur will actually quote anything from the New York Times. I mean, let me quote him on Twitter from March 2023, when he said New York Times had long back dropped all pretensions of neutrality while publishing anything about India. He called it mischievous and fictitious, and this isn't the only article they've criticized of the New York Times. So I guess they've changed their minds about the reporting authenticity of that particular publication. Secondly, let me say that this isn't a new allegation. They leveled this allegation in the past, and they even cancelled Rajiv Gandhi Foundation's FCRA license. What I am wondering is why they haven't done anything about PM Cares. We have no idea who the donors to PM Cares are. We know there were public pronouncements of Chinese companies such as Xiaomi donating over 10 crores to PM Cares, and there was absolutely nothing done about that because the PM Cares fund is not subject to any sort of scrutiny like Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and other funds are. What I also wonder is what is the BJP doing in 2009 when a BJP RSS team actually went to meet with the Communist Party of China and talked about border issues in Arunachal. What I also wonder is why the BJP government has allowed imports from China to grow from somewhere around 50 to 60 billion in 2004 to now about $100 billion. What I also wonder is why the External Affairs Minister's son's organization, which is the Observer Researcher Foundation, that has received money from the Chinese embassy, not once, not twice, but several times over, is not subject to the same kind of scrutiny like Rajiv Gandhi Foundation is. And for the BJP to talk about receiving money from nefarious sources, they should be the last ones talking about it because they got money in 2014-15 of an amount of 10 crores from a company called RKW Developers that had links with Iqbal Mirchi alias Iqbal Menon, who was accused in the 93 Mumbai blast and a close associate of Dawood Ibrahim. So they're the last ones to talk about where funding is coming from.
Okay, Anila, the Congress, smashes the ball back in your court saying, who are you to question us about Chinese money? And he's listed a huge number of instances alleging that the BJP is no one to talk. How would you respond to that? Keep it to what we're talking about. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, Newsclick. Also remember there were raids that happened back in 2021, by the Enforcement Directorate against Newsclick, at which point there were members of the opposition who had actually defended.
My ram to all, and I was very well listening to Mr. Mangalam, and he was, saying, oh, how BJP can quote New York Times when BJP says that whatever the news come out in New York Times, you cannot rely on that. But sir, this time you can come out and say whatever New York Times is saying, it is all crap. Does Congress party has got that type of guts to say this thing to the New York Times? Of course not. But the nexus in between the political parties like Congress, the NGOs, the media house, the companies, and the Chinese, it is unnerving. It is very scary how these people are looting this country, how these people are cheating this country. And I have to tell Mr. Mangalam, you should correct your facts and you should know what your leaders had said earlier. When the raids happened on Newsclick and News Laundry and a couple of more...
Newsclick. Let's keep it on Newsclick.
No. I'm saying when tax official raids happened on Newsclick and News Laundry, at that time we had seen that Randeep Surjewala, Digvijay Singh, Abhishek Singhvi, Supriya Srinath, and many more Congress leaders, they had come out and they had started advocating in favor of Newsclick. So you can very well see the connection. It doesn't require rocket science to understand that how this political party, Congress, is connected to Newsclick, how Newsclick is connected to Singham.
Okay, so Mohan, the allegation is that, the Congress basically trooped out to defend Newsclick when they were being raided by the Enforcement Directorate, and now you have egg on your face because the New York Times, which in the Congress and the opposition's view can say no wrong, has basically said something that's very unpalatable for you. Respond to what Anila is saying.
So, Shiv, I don't think we have egg on our face in any way. If we have egg on our face, so does the Press Club of India.
No, the BJP saying that. BJP saying.
Let me finish. Yes. I'm responding to her. I'm saying the Press Club of India, the Editors Guild, there were many people who condemned the action against Newsclick at that point in time, saying that it was a move to intimidate journalists. I mean, we are 161 out of 181 in 180 countries in the world press freedom index. So if someone goes ahead and raids an agency that is publishing news critical about the government, which is a rarity these days, let me add, I would say that anybody in opposition will get up and say, you are actually trying to intimidate journalists. I'm not sure why this is surprising. And I will also say that a journalistic report in New York Times or Washington Post or whatever that publication may be is not concrete proof. I would like an investigative agency's report to come out. And if that is indeed true, action to be taken against that report. And after that, we can have a conclusive discussion about what Newsclick was and isn't.
So you're saying that an investigation should happen into what the New York Times is alleged? Because it's part of their investigation.
No. I'm saying the enforcement directorate is obviously doing an investigation. They were raided in 2021. So I will wait for the ED's report to come out and for subsequently a charge sheet to be filed before I start making comments against a news organization.
No, but I understand that. But Mohan, what about the allegations made in the New York Times? These are extremely serious allegations. Do you think those should be investigated? The Chinese link of Newsclick?
Of course. I think if there is a drawable link, if there is a money trail, so to speak, that is evident and that is easy to find, I'm sure the Enforcement Directorate will seek that information from whatever report has been published from the respective foreign agencies.
Understood.
And
Anila, final word to you then. You know, we've seen all the fire and brimstone, the politics, the finger pointing, etc. Will there be an investigation now? You know, if the New York Times is being brandished now by the BJP, will the BJP put its money where its mouth is and actually investigate? Yes, the Enforcement Directorate has already taken action against Newsclick, but this issue of Chinese money funding them, will this also be investigated now, or will it only just be politics?
Indeed, do you think that the investigative agencies in our country in today's time, they are going to spare anybody who is very much well connected with wrong routes to get money in? The news portals funding from China, the secret MOU signed by the Congress party with the Chinese and the Soros connection only raises many more questions which Congress party in today's time at this moment is not able to answer. Because
can I offer a
understands
solution for the
that Chinese fund Indian National Congress. That is a reality.
I'm out of time. 10 seconds. Only 10 seconds to you, Mohan. 10 seconds.
I just want to offer a piece of advice to the founders of Newsclick. If they want to get away from this investigation, the best way to do so is to join the Bharatiya Janata Party. As history has proven time and again.
Okay, jibe delivered, but who knew that the BJP would be quoting from the New York Times and the Congress would be saying, let's wait for more information. That's what the media is these days, especially in an election year. We leave it there. Thank you very much to the both of you for your time here on 5 Live. It's a wrap. I'll see you at the same time tomorrow.